get home from school and have different projects to plan and work on. For some assignments, you need a snack and a little background music to add motivation and make it at least feel fun. You slug through it counting how many pages are left to read each time you turn the page. Other projects are the kind you think about in the moments of in-between time while you're working on the other stuff. They're the kind that you would do in your free time for fun and exploration or expression. They're the projects we remember years later. The desire to make learning and reading fun and memorable is what has driven many people to try out new approaches to education. One that has been used with great results is Thematic Units. Although it has its limitations, as we'll see later, it has been found in several studies to improve children's learning experiences and equip them with more readily used skills and strategies in many subjects, including reading and writing. So what are thematic units? Rather than teaching all of the subjects separately, the teacher chooses a topic that the students will focus on, such as outer space. The topic, which may incorporate scientific, arithmetic, and historic aspects, is then introduced to the class, and all work will be related to that topic. Students will read books and stories, have various types of writing projects, hold grand discussions, and create projects to show what they are learning. As they are doing these various activities as individuals, in small groups, or as a class, the teacher will monitor and assess each student's learning on a regular basis through talking with the student, observing him or her at work, checking to see that students are monitoring their own progress correctly, and grading of projects based on rubrics. Throughout the day, the teacher teaches many mini-lessons to help students know how to work effectively. The goal of having one main topic is to provide a context and mental framework for the various things they are learning. It is often easier to build that framework when the work is interrelated and connects with students' own background knowledge and experience. Several groups did trial runs using thematic units to see how they affected students' motivation, cognitive development, and academic performance, both in class and on standardized test scores. One school in the Midwestern U.S. brought all of its teachers together to plan and implement the thematic unit. Members of the community contributed, and as they planned, everyone grew more excited and eager to start. Though each teacher focused on his or her own subject matter, the theme was the same school-wide. This not only united the various teachers, administrators, and parents in the school, but it also increased students' desire to participate, as shown in several school events in which there was 100% participation by the end of the year. News of this school's success through using thematic units spread to other schools, and people often came to visit, observe, and participate in planning meetings to learn how the school did it. Another group that tested the use of thematic units was the Department of Human Development at the University of Maryland. Some of the important principles upon which they based their research and proposed methods of teaching included allowing students more opportunity to make their own choices, studying things that pertain to the students' experiences, giving opportunities for the students to set goals and track their own growth, challenging the students while allowing opportunities for success, having a balance of teacher control so that students don't become overwhelmed by too many choices, giving plenty of feedback so that students know how they were doing and could measure their success, and allowing for group work. They found that in general, this kind of teaching caused students to be able to more deeply apply what they were reading to their own lives. It increased students' engagement in reading, making them more focused and more motivated. It also increased their scores on a standardized test of reading comprehension, and caused students to be more effective in applying reading strategies on their own. Another trial run took place in a school in American Samoa. The teachers there wanted to see how the use of thematic units worked in their culture and community. Each grade's teacher had different results. Most were positive and increased both students' learning and their desire to learn. One class, however, had difficulty getting students to hold discussions and express their own thoughts and questions. The culture in that community encouraged children to be seen and not heard, to take in the wisdom from those older than them and not question or step outside of what is already generally accepted. These students especially had difficulty with grand conversation. In summary, some strengths of using thematic units include authentic content that draws upon many different areas of thinking and ability, increased student motivation and attention, higher test scores, development and greater use of reading strategies, exploring a topic from many angles, fostering of unity among teachers across subjects and grades, opportunities for students to take initiative by tracking their own progress, and a variety of ways for students to demonstrate mastery of content, skills, and strategies. Using thematic units can also benefit those who may struggle in reading in several ways. Through providing many different modes of learning about the same thing, it fosters their familiarity and confidence with the topic, building on what they already know and enabling them to improve their skills without feeling bombarded with new topics. It also provides for encouragement from and interaction with peers as they work in groups. Small groups provide the interaction in a way that can be less threatening than a whole class discussion. Students also have more opportunity to choose books that are of interest to them and on a level they are comfortable with. Some of the weaknesses of thematic units, on the other hand, may include a clash with the culture in which it is used, less broad of a spectrum of topics students are exposed to, incorrect student self-monitoring, and more preparation time and thought required from teachers as they must coordinate their efforts with other teachers and plan the units carefully.